Good morning, students. In the last class that we learned about the few topics of the verbs, like we get to know what's the verb, we learnt about transitive and intransitive verbs. In today's class, let's learn about two more parts of the verbs, that it is the first one, it is regular verbs, and the next one irregular verbs. Let's go through that regular verb. What is regular verb? Regular verb is any verb whose conjugation follows the typical pattern or one of the typical patterns of the language to which it belongs to. Example we can write here. Regular, right? Select, and when we convert it into V2, we can write it as selected. And at the same time, talk. It can be converted as talked. So, where we do people follow these kind of conjugation, it's called as regular verbs. The next part of this, it is irregular. Irregular verbs. What are irregular verbs? A verb whose conjugation follows a different pattern is called an irregular verb. What is that? A verb whose conjugation, that it means the union, follows a different pattern is called an irregular verb. Here, for example, we can write example for irregular verbs. Arise. What is this? Arise. It is a V1 form. When we convert it into V2, it gets a different pattern, that it is arose. Then when again we convert it into V3 form, it gets different, that it is arisen. Example, come, came, come. So, where we do people follow these kind of union, maybe these kind of changes when we go through the verbs and their conversions from V1 to V2 and V3. So, these kind of verbs are called as irregular verbs. So, once where we complete these regular and irregular verbs, before going to learn about the other part of the verb, that it is auxiliary or helping verbs, let us learn where do that we use these verbs a lot. Actually, these verbs are used in the tense. So that let's learn about what the tense is. What is the tense? What is the tense? You all know that the tense is nothing but a time in simple. But in a grammar, tense is a category that expresses time. Tense are usually manifested by the use of specific form of the verbs, particularly in their conjugation patterns. In other words, that we can say, every language have the grammatical means to indicate the time when an action or the task occur, or when a state or a process holds. This phenomenon is called the tense. And here, for example, we can say, in some places we change the tense according to the time of the occurrence of the task by adding ed in some place, in some places by adding by writing the verb as it is, etc. Example, walk, it becomes walked in V2, come, it becomes came. So based on this time, what happens, the tense get changes. And once where we complete this tense, so the next important part of the tense it is, so that till that there are three kinds of tenses, present tense, past tense and future tense. Let us learn them after learning the verbs, that it is the auxiliaries, helping verbs. Got it? Let us learn about auxiliary or helping verbs. Auxiliary are helping verbs. What are auxiliaries or what are helping verbs? An auxiliary verb is a word that adds functional or grammatical meaning to the clause in which it occurs, so as to express tense, aspect, modality, voice, emphasize, etc. Auxiliary verbs usually accompany an infinitive verb. See here once again, an auxiliary accompany an infinitive verb or participle. Either it might be a part participle, past participle or present participle or the gerund form, which respectively provides the main semantic context of the clause. So here, when we come to this helping verbs, there are two kinds of helping verbs. They are primary auxiliary verbs or primary helping verbs. The second one, it is called as modal auxiliaries or modal helping verbs. So what are the primary auxiliary verbs? When we come to this primary auxiliary verbs, again these can be divided into two ways, that they are am, is, are, have, has, do, does, and their negative forms. These are all called as B forms too, we call them as B forms. So these are the primary auxiliaries which basically we use in present tense. Where do we use? We use them in present tense and their negative forms too. Am, is, are, have, has, do, does. These are the primary auxiliaries that which we use in present tense. The next one we are going to use was, were, had, did and their negative forms. These auxiliaries are used in past tense. We use them in past tense. So here when we come to these negative forms of them, as I said, in present tense, amn't, isn't, aren't, haven't, hasn't, don't, doesn't. In present and past tense, what happened? That we come was, wasn't, were, weren't, had, hadn't, did, didn't. And here, when we do people come to this part, there is a simple agreement of the verbs. Let me to speak about, where the subject like, mind it, I, we, you, they, it comes, right? We have to use, or maybe any plural noun, any plural noun or subject. Subject it comes, we do people use like this. I go, have or do. Example, I go, we go, you go, they go, Raju and Ravi go. Same, I have, we have, you have, they have, Raju and Ravi have. I do I, we do we, you do you, they do they. Same, Raju and Ravi do Raju and Ravi. This is how that agreement goes on. At the same time, where we come to that, the subjects like he, she, it, or any singular subject. So here what happens that we go with goes, has or does. We can go through. He goes, she goes, it goes, Raju goes. He has, she has, it has, Raju has. He does he. She does she. He does it, Raju does Raju. This is how that the agreement goes with. Got it? And here, once where we complete this, when we come to this modal auxiliaries, the modal auxiliaries are used to express various modes and mental attitudes like hope, expectations, capabilities, possibilities, etc. Where we come to these modal auxiliaries, they are like this: can, could, and their negative forms like can't and couldn't, shall, should, and their negative forms shan't and shouldn't, will, would, like will, would, won't and wouldn't. And the next one here, may, might, may not, might not, And at the same time, where we people are going to have some challenges and where we have to speak some boldly, we use dare as a modal auxiliary. And at the same time, we can go with use it to, and at the same time it is used to, can be used to indicate or to assign some duty, and we can go with ought to. That ought to can be used to indicate some like a futurity, and there is one more, need to, etc. So these are the modal auxiliaries. You get to know, I think, the primary auxiliaries, that which can be used in present tense and past tense, and the modal auxiliaries. By seeing these words that you might have known, most of the modal auxiliaries can be used in future tense. Got it? So once where we complete this, we can go through that, the tense in deeply, or maybe we can go through the tense in a proper way, or we can learn the tense in a proper way once where we learn about this. So thank you very much. In the next class that we are going to learn about the tense and their kinds. Thank you very much. Please do follow and subscribe.